that you're going to be playing while you're practicing hymns. Remember, the 1, 4, and 5 are the 3 major chords you're going to be using in any given key. 1 being the first note of the scale, 4 being the 4th note of the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th chord, and 5 being the 5th note of the scale. There's your 1 chord, 4 chord, and 5 chord. Now when we play them, we'll play them all close together. We're going to be in the key of C, so we're going to play C like this, F like this, or if you want to, like this. Okay, that's your second or first inversion. C, F, and then you can play G here or here, whichever you prefer. C, F, G. And then don't forget the 5 always has the 7th that you can add to it. And many times when we're playing hymns, it will already be added. So the 7th would be the F when the G. And the G7 would have the F added. Like that, or like this, or many times you'll see it like this. Any of those will work if you're going to play a G7. This, this, this. Okay? Now, at Calvary, the first measure in the right hand is... So that's 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to add the chord on the first and third, or just first and first. Just the first beat if that's easier for you, but if you can, throw it in on the third beat too. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first 2 measures. Now the next measure is G. The melody moves to here. That's the end of the 3rd measure. Here's the 4th measure. So let's play all the way to the 4th measure. Okay, and this is how it would sound if you throw in the 3rd beat as well. Now, what you can do once you get familiar with that, to make it sound even better and more full, you can add the octave of the chord on the first beat. So the first measure is the C chord, so if we were going to play an octave on the first beat, it would be the C octave. In other words, 2 C's like this. You'll hear this a lot. This makes it sound more full and gives it the bass sound. It'll sound like this. We would play the octave on the first beat, the chord on the 3rd beat. Now you want to be pretty familiar with this before you start trying to go down. But once you know the song well, try going down on the first beat like this. That's the first 4 measures. Now let's go ahead and do the next 4 measures. The first 3 are the exact same. And then they change. First 2 are the same. Then the 3rd and 4th, I believe, are different. So this is the next 2. Now here's the 3rd measure, or the I guess the 7th measure. Okay. So the 5th and the 6th measures are the same. Let's take a look at the 7th and 8th. We'll go ahead and play, this comes in on the 4th beat before the 7th measure. At Calvary. So it'll be, we'll play that, and then we're going to play an F chord here. Okay? Or you can play a D minor. D minor is actually would actually sound very good there too, and it's in a lot of hymn books. But since we're just working with the three major chords right now, you can play an F. But this is a D minor. You can play it there, D, F, and A. D, F, and A, and you would play it here with the D. And then when you play the B in the melody, it switches to a G here, and then back to C. So let's do the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th measures. Alright. Let's take a look at the chorus real quick. The chorus starts on an F chord, so we'll be here. The melody goes like this. We'll play an A and a C, and then it'll go to G sharp and B. Go back and forth. So the first measure is F. The second measure of the chorus is C. Sorry. Again, here's the melody. Here's the left hand and right hand together. Alright, so you can play an F here to go down. I like to play a C there, it kind of gives it a suspended feel. You might leave out the E here. Or you can even throw it in, it still sounds fine. They kind of clash at first and then it resolves. So the chorus again. That's the first two measures of the chorus. So it's F, the left hand, the first two measures of the chorus is F, then C. Alright, now let's do it with the octaves in the first two measures of the chorus. So let's go from the very beginning to what we have in the chorus, and I'll play just the chords. That's what we have thus far. Now you may not like this. I like the dissonance that resolves, but like I said, you can change it. Play an F there when you play these together, or you can just leave the third out, and that'll make it sound better. Or you can play the octave. A couple options there if you don't like this sound. The third measure of the chorus goes to G. So it's G for one measure, then C. Here's the measure of G again. Okay, so the left hand is doing this, and you don't have to play both notes, you can just play one. Or you can throw in that third there, just a third down. Like that. The more notes you play in the right hand, the more full it'll sound. So it'll sound like this. Let's play from the beginning of the chorus. The first measure is F. G, C, now the chorus, second line of the chorus repeats the same thing, and then just the last two measures are different. same as the end of the verse. Alright? So again, anywhere you have a G, you feel free to throw in the F, make it a G7, like on the third measure of the chorus. There's that G7 again. Alright, I'm going to play the whole thing, and then we'll wrap it up. I know I added some notes there in the right hand, but again, you can play as many of those as you feel comfortable with, or just the top one. It'll still sound fine as you play. Oh, sorry, that's an F. Alright, let me add in the octave now and show you how that sounds. Play the first verse again. So once you get familiar with the right hand and you know the melody, and again you can just play one note or throw in that second note. But once you get familiar with the right hand, then you'll find it much easier to just grab that octave down there. Okay, so we can practice that. But to start off, I would start by getting familiar with the song by just playing a chord on the first beat of each measure. No, that's the first and third. Once you're comfortable with the right hand, and you know what chord goes where, then you can start to add the chord in on the first and third. When that's coming pretty easy to you, then go ahead and try to grab that octave.